Welcome to my channel. All right, so this reading had been coming to me to do for quite some time. I'm gonna go ahead, do it, get it out of the way. Right? The light body, shadow body, pain body. Right? And it was one of those, it's kind of in the middle of me doing the other readings, but usually when that happens, that means that's supposed to be the next one up. All right, opposed to what I want to do, gotta flow with the essence, and that'll be about what constitutes as being flexible, what being flexible is. All right. So of course, not all readings are gonna resonate with everyone. If it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. That is okay. That simply means that this reading isn't for you. All right. And if it don't fit, don't force it. Just relax and let it go. Just 'cause that's how you want it doesn't mean it will be so. If it don't fit, don't force it. Don't force it. But if it does, don't ignore it. All right. All right. So for this reading, I may call out signs. I may not. Okay. I may call out signs. But I don't think it's gonna be really imperative. We really just gonna be examining the situations it is that will be going on. All right. All right. So from what I'm gathering, this is going to be in regards to what constitutes as uh the responsibilities, so to speak, that are associated with having visions and premonitions, getting downloads, what downloads are. It's like the whispers on the wind, right? Those, as we call them, intuitive nudges as to what it is we would need to address and pay attention to. All right, all right. So it's that. Huh. And the riddle of the Sphinx. Let your intellect be above your animalistic nature. All right, so in the vision portion, right, the injustices, right, or being out of balance, injustice, being out of balance, how it is one would look at Libra essence. Oh, excuse us. In regards to what it is that will be going on and happening with one not being just. It's given projections. That's what it will be given. It'll be given that whole projections aspect within one not being a Libra, there not being justice, the vision of what isn't just, and the fool, or in the beginning. In the beginning. And what happens on the fool's journey, and if a person hasn't gotten to the part of the fool's journey that would require them to address justices and injustices, is given the whole skip a step. Skip a step, miss a step, misstep. Okay, in regards to one not having movement, I heard this the Alchemist Code though, so I can you just thanks. It's all right. But then within one, the injustices that come with one not having movement and not one not having movement, and the misfortune that comes with being older, not being fruitful, not being healed. Wow. As they will look inside themselves. What it is that will go on when you see what hasn't been healed within yourself. Okay, one of the things I'm gonna go ahead and say, yeah, with this hermit essence, uh, that being one of the highest vibrations for Virgo, right? Yeah, because if you could settle the battles within yourself, then it'll make it easier for you to settle battles outside of you, right? And one of the things while I was walking, one of the things that had come to me when I was the Friday morning when I had went for my walk was, if you are, and I was saying this to myself, if you are so easily distracted by something that's not guaranteed, while you're going to get what you know you have and you know you can get, then what are you really waiting for? What are you really pursuing? And the hermit essence with this whole aspect of what isn't healed and what wouldn't be protected in regards to the one not having the mutable madness. When you look inside, like you'll have the mutable madness on the outside but not necessarily on the inside. When you have inner peace but it looks like chaos and turmoil to others, and what it is to create that peace outside of yourself, within there being this King of Wands, within there, within what it is you're doing, your the inspirations you acting on, and it being outside of community. And sure, when you're more grounded and you okay, so this is what it's giving. What level of Aries would a person be in? What level of Sagittarius a person would be in? And what level of Leo a person would be in? Because there's that whole mutable aspect that comes or not mutable, it's the duality. Because there's a difference between being mutable and being dual. Now, because it's giving your move, the whole Yu-Gi-Oh situation that goes on. But ultimately, what you want to pay attention to is within this, looking inside oneself for the inspiration that comes outside of their fire essence and the fire sign community. Some of this is going to be in regards to firefighters. The song that it will be given is "How the Hips Don't Lie." I'm on the night, my hips don't lie. Yeah, Shakira, Shakira, Shakira. So bad that I don't know where that comes from, but looking into that aspect, and even in regards to it, yeah, because some of it will be about the injustice that would have come into place with being an older woman, the misfortune that comes when you're older. And what does it mean to be older? Looking inside oneself. Yeah, how you would look inside yourself to see what it is that you personally would need to address, to fix in you. All right. Well, the spiritual contract with this murder of crows, right? Because ultimately, what I'm getting from this is you gotta, yeah, it's always like check your notes. What did you take note of? What did you make? What did you make note of? And in this whole light shadow, yeah, because this will be about the vibrational aspect in which you're operating out of, whether you're operating out of your lower chakras, which is root, sacral, and solar plexus, but only part of the solar plexus though, because that's the irony that'll come into place. Your solar plexus can be affected by two different things. One will be what it is you desire, the other will be your heart. Well, let's see what this requires, ladies and gentlemen. I just heard want to get girls. Okay. Well, the, yeah, with them ones intuition that will come into place. Yeah, because it's giving that whole in order to get what it is that you would want, you would need to align your emotions. I don't know why I want to say affix, but what it is to hold on, and for 4 years, the instinctive nature of 4 years that will come within one being off one's mind, in regards to one not having love, and then not looking inside themselves and being or isolating themselves in a communication. In short, it's not just one person, it's not just one type of communication, it's multiples. There's that portion. The other part of this, right? Okay, compartmentalization, the way a person's mind works. When you look inside of yourself, what will be reflected is the way one's mind would work. So there's that portion. Now, with the incoming aspect of it, it'll be about the justice of movement and one's fortune being in the upright, within being fruitful and protected as a star. And the incoming aspect of the house of inspiration. Some of the other things it is you want to pay attention to is what one would know about what happens when a person isolates themselves, and what does it mean to isolate yourself, because you can hold on to your own essence and energy, right? And in the light aspect where everybody can see it, but it's just as imperative to hold on to your own essence when you go into the shadow aspect of who you are. And sure, you have to be comfortable and confident in the, yeah, in the Virgo aspect, right? With knowing that you would have accomplished, right? Going past it and you're just reviewing it, not to repeat it, but to learn from what it is that whatever it is that would have taken place. Like in this whole situation, it'll be about that whole ideal set of the injustices that come with womanhood, and how men don't necessarily understand, certain things that come into place with being a woman, and whether or not you would have learned it. Yeah, and I heard, and whether or not you would have fixed it. Yeah, and whether or not one would have fixed it. The other portion of it, right, is going to be in regards to the instinct to hold on. Now, the instinct 4 years ago that would have trapped a person inside one's mind, within them looking inside themselves. Yeah, and the inauthenticity that would have come with it. And even in this regard, right, with being on the fool's journey, the vision of the fool's journey, or putting a person on the fool's journey, however this is, how they wouldn't have gotten to the justice, and they wouldn't have gotten to the wheel of fortune or the empress or even the star aspect, but they would be at the part of looking inside themselves. That's the skip steps that come into place in one's doing inspiration. It all starts with you. So that's the shadow aspect of it. And the light aspect of it is that within looking inside oneself, there being the inspiration and movement, and it's telling what it is that one would have nurtured about fire essence in the fire sign community. Yeah, whether or not they will actually like them, or even, it's not even necessarily like you. Ain't nobody got to like you, but they do have to respect you as an individual. So it's that part. The other portion of it, right? In the spiritual contract, in short, the whole do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And the instinct to hold on, whether a person is on one's mind or not. Knowing, yeah, trusting their path, trusting their gifts within what it is that will be revealed in the communications, and then how things will be communicated. Hmm. One not being the King of Pentacles being celebrated. So one of these other things, yeah, the materialism being celebrated in the community. The other portion of this is the whole mother maiden crone celebrations, and how, yeah, yeah, and how, when, okay, so here's the deal that comes into place with it. I don't think people really pay this attention in the duality of the light body and the shadow body, right? And even where pain can come into place with that little line between them. right? That fine line that that people cross, sometimes knowingly, sometimes unknowingly, right? But for every individual, right, that would be created, there's a shadow aspect or a darker aspect for them. So it don't matter what your positioning is, everybody has a shadow aspect, right? And just the same as everybody has a light aspect. Now, when you can make friends with the shadow aspect, and yeah, you have to build a rapport with a person's shadow side. If that makes sense. Hurt, that's the mediumship aspect. It can be the mediumship aspect. Because the mediumship aspect, when you think of what really ghosts and things of that nature are, they're realistically just residual essence, right, of whatever happened to or with that person. And you'll be amazed how a person would have gone on in their life with something, with holding on to resentments, and the resentment or whatever it is they would feel would be trapped in that one particular place or in that one particular space, and it could manifest there on a repeat, right, even long after they've died. That's why you'll get in some instances now, because now I'm understanding with that Battle of Bunker Hill situation and what's the name of it, Antebellum and all of that, right? But even if the person would have lived to be like 80, 90 years old, if they have issues that weren't resolved from when they were like 25, 30, their spirit would present itself as 25. Yeah, it could present itself as 25, 30 years old, because that's what they would need to fix, and it's to trigger them to fix it so that they can move on and all that other good stuff. So that would be like the shadow body aspect. And then, but the light body aspect would have continued, like the body would have grown, but the spirit would have got caught in that age. That's the thing that comes into place with like ghost loops and all that other stuff. And for me, yeah, like when you hear different frequencies and all this other stuff, it's such a high pitch, right? That'll go on or come into place. And what the intent of, don't trip off of what the intent of it is, right? Within there being the betrayals, right? The betrayal and the end of one's financial abuse being celebrated in a community. And then the other part of it being supernatural, what it is to be supernatural. Yeah, because some people pull it off with, just having a natural look. Other people pull it off through cosplay. Other people pull it off with just being their most authentic self, right? Yeah, because for some people it's, oh, I don't wear makeup and all such stuff. And it's one of those, okay, well, I do. I like makeup just the same as I like a bare face. I like variety. Can a person not like variety? Part of this that's going on with this is because I know I haven't watched it. It was a discussion between the Jews, Hebrew Israelites, and Christians that are all amongst the African American community. My thing is, what difference does it make? Because nobody is treating each other like they supposed to anyway. And if you're doing it just based off of who they talk to in private to make sure that things are okay, you full of it. You're really full of it. And that's the real reason why there's problems, because people be too invasive. You're not minding the business that pays you, and that's your life. Taking care of yourself is a full-time job, and taking care of yourself does not, yeah, with the whole discriminatory practices that come into place amongst us as a people. It's one of those, it don't matter. Stop trying to familiarize yourself and institute things according to the European depiction of what democracy is and sovereignty is. It's more so sovereignty than anything. That's what they trying to, yeah, you trying to depict yourself as that, and the reality is you're not sovereign. You're in a whole nother emotional and spiritual state of not even the activation mentally that is Christ consciousness. You're not even allowing yourself to get to God consciousness because you're so busy arguing about the Christ consciousness aspect. That's not the highest form. Is the God consciousness portion, and you all acting a damn fool, if you ask me. But that's just me. Let me shut up and finish this read. It's been 20 because that would be in the shadow body aspect of things. It's like why are you worried about that? Stop worrying about who people talk to in private. I felt the same way with Israel. Yeah, with them doing all that weird stuff, and I felt the same way all around the board. It's like y'all so worried about, yeah, the land ain't yours to begin with. First off, second off, you're not even treating people or even the land well enough. You worried about the land that's over there in Israel where there's oil being spilled in the oceans because you want to make a major deal to supposedly get the land that you destroying. No, no, cut it out. Just stop. Yeah, all of this is giving chaos practitioners. It is all giving chaos practitioners with everything it is that will be going on in the shadows, but it will be the responsibility of those who are in those positions where we understand God consciousness is more imperative than Christ consciousness, to remind people from time to time, hey, guess what? It's not about what you want. Yeah, because what it portrays is that there is no happiness in having any type of religious consciousness. There is no happiness in that. Oh my goodness, I know y'all done all heard of what they say Catholic guilt. You got that, and then you got the is that one is the most not that's the most up to date one, but they have a phrase that deals with that type of guilt with every religion, and the easiest way to not be guilty in those regards is to just do right by people regardless of what you think you know about what they're doing, because everybody has their own individual practices as well. Yeah, outside or that take place in their own home. Now the burdens it is that would have come into place with some of this stuff that happened 6 days ago. There would have been some misfortunes, and that's where in the spiritual aspect that's due to, yeah, healing one healing one's back, healing being heavy, being a heavy load. Healing that will be a heavy load. That flew all the way over there. When one's being negative, like I could see the card, but it flew over on the ground. And then there being conflict, with, and what the conflict entails is that a person wouldn't be an Aquarius or a Virgo, and they wouldn't have looked inside themselves. The other portion of it would be that a person, the conflict that would have come with the spiritual conflicts, in regards to one not being able to go on another day. And the shifting of the inspiration, how it is one shifts one, what they think about. Yeah, like you want to know something funny? Everybody's darker thoughts get clustered together. I don't think people really notice that on the energetic level. That's why it'd be important for us as readers, right, to make sure we keep ourselves cleansed and stuff and protected to some capacity, because all of the, yeah, it's like everybody's darker thoughts comes into place when you're in that essence, and depending on what your specialty is, right, or your particular gift is, right, it's a matter of how deep you go into it. So it's that part. The other portion of it is, right, yeah, it's given the difference between if you uh know how to utilize the dark web, or or utilize the world wide web. And you have to understand that the dark web is a part of the world wide web. So what it is that goes on underneath and things of that nature. All right, so it's that. Let me see. But yeah, ultimately, right, with this, it looks like, right, you need to review and understand in your light body is the difference between you taking a leap of faith for the injustices versus taking a leap of faith for the justices, right? And the attitude you take into something when you have it versus when you don't have it. And what goes on in the spiritual contract that comes with there being rejection, or even what would have happened in the month of April, especially in regards to what goes on with the unhappiness in the supernatural. Hey, if I took, yeah, no, that wasn't, now in that regard, that wasn't a spiritual contract. I did write a letter and I've posted it several times. I don't know how many people actually listened to it or actually read it, because I said in that letter, which is, yeah, which is synonymous with different prophets and things of that nature writing, and how writing is a lost art. It is. With so much stuff being digital, having a hard copy of something is wow. But ultimately, with me writing it, I said the ancestors was angry. I said they were angry and they were disappointed with y'all. Y'all didn't care to listen to them. So, you know, don't shoot the messenger. So, in regards to what constitutes as a marriage or a commitment full time, and how it is one views marriage. Yeah, and how people, yeah, and to an or with the official person, the official person and the main male in the community. So the marriage aspect, it flew out with, or the commitments and full time and all that other stuff. That was what wouldn't be able to go on another day, within there being a fight for communication, as well as a conflict of communication, as well as being argumentative. Yeah, that's what that's going to be about. Because I don't know one person who wants to enter into any commitment where you have to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Yeah, and it not be a discussion, but or it not even be classified as a discussion when you have opposing views, but it automatically is classified as a debate or an argument. And it's one of those, yeah, you using too forceful of words. Some things don't need to be talked about. Some things are genuinely common sense. I understand that, common sense isn't something that everybody has, and that is a gift in its all to have common sense. Right? And to have morality, you know, that you govern yourself by. All of that makes a lot of sense. And that's a gift in its own. Even in regards to the courthouse and the thoughts it is that would come, yeah, when you try things in a court of public opinion, opposed to trying it in an actual courthouse. And the outcome that comes when it's found out with this whole courthouse, and it being it's 22 and it's one, right? In short, it being the official person, main male, that being according to the court. One of the things it was that I was paying attention to in regards to this, I'm going to shift over to the chakras aspect, so that could possibly help, and well, Lathrop mathematics, then the chakras. But ultimately, what it would be reflective of is who the main person is or would be, and there being marriage in place, even if they married and separated and all that other stuff. That's the trickery that comes into place with it. Now, within the commitment to healing, so to speak, some of the things you want to pay attention to is what it is that will be going on with your hips, with your heart. Yeah, it's called the Venus chamber. That's what the heart is referred to, right? And one having to have stents or shots in the heart, adrenaline. Oh my goodness, what is going on? No, cause it's giving adrenaline shots and stuff like that. Then yeah, cause it kind of gives the feel of Pulp Fiction. That's what it's giving. And then um, And in the contract, it will require, yeah, because what this is given is as an inheritance, but in the contract, what it would require is for one to not have that. No, because Virgo deals with the inner parts, the veins, and it pairs with the lymphatic system. Like one's the veins, and the other one is like the outlining. So, yeah, so that portion. Miracle, expansion. So, in the whole community aspect, it'll be about what would have happened in October as far as what was considered the main male and the miracle that happened with this main male. And on the other hand, in the shadow aspect, it would have been the trickery of one being married. Yo, yeah, with holding that big acorn. While you see all of the little acorns, you can hold the big acorn, but can you even eat the big acorn? It's kind of what that's giving inside of one's heart. And this is also giving the whole conversational aspect that will come into place with the squirrel. That's why the squirrel keep coming up, y'all. For me, the squirrel keeps coming up because it what happens is there's a conversation going on in this whole trickery or trickster aspect inside of one's heart. And it would be the game that would be played for commitment and marriage, and yeah, making one battle for a commitment. Whatever that means. Whether it be a business partnership, a full-time job, or even being what it is to be a husband, to be husband and wife. And one would, how it would be recognized in regards for one to be an official person. So to be that husband, father, and all that, and it being a miracle in regards to one's willpower. And I'm saying willpower, but I'm hearing staying power. Up how the power stays. And there's enlightenment in regards to different discussions and gossip. You wanna know something that's funny about gossip? You know how gossip started? Through storytelling and what it is to be a bard. Yeah, it was literally at one point only meant for entertainment. And the way that with I can't ignore it. With the pain body aspect and how some people will act out of their wounds and doing spell work and things of that nature. Yeah, that gossip, it would be some of it be yeah, it'd be about the fact checking and the truth of the heart of the matter and all this other stuff with the influence of despondence and dissipating. In short, how it is one's sadness and the higher self would shed according to their willpower. And it being different kind, yeah, it being something that will go on in the heart. One of the things that is kind of odd about this particular deck, I will not lie, and with it, the depictions of these varying, yeah, this person didn't really like heart stuff. They really didn't. Yeah, because right under it is gossip, grief, and quest and expansion. Yeah, you could tell that this person was heartbroken when they made this deck. They felt like they had been tricked because that's all of the stuff. That's all of the green aspects in it. Oh, you poor thing. Yeah, and then the guilt portion, and then the orange. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm gonna need a new deck to correlate with this one. Yeah, because the depictions of it is you could tell that the artist in this was going through a spiritual awakening, and this is the product of that spiritual awakening. when they got to their heart chakra, so to speak, yeah, they noticed, the different games and tricks that can be played on the heart, but not, it's not very much. Somebody must have passed away and made them do this. Hold on, y'all. Because everything that's green, it's a sad feeling to it. Yeah, like it's a shift in the chakra aspect with that, but okay. One, in short, you can tell that it's duality that even comes into place with this. But the most of the cards in the heart chakra thing, they not all that happy. They tell a story about how it is one gained emotional intelligence, or how it is they depicted emotional intelligence. Even up to this part where what constitutes as rejection, when you reject the voices, is given old boy who chopped off his ear because they said he was schizophrenic, and it really would have turned out that he would have had mediumship and all this other stuff that would have been going on, and wouldn't have had nobody to teach him how to control it for real. That's something that typically happens a whole lot when they claim that a person would be schizophrenic, and it's, yeah, because they hear things on a higher frequency, like having, as they say, dog ears, and whether or not a person can hear a dog's whistle. I just heard, that's my dog. That's my dog. So there's that. Grace. This is, yeah, the when you give the shadow body grace, because you understand that the pain body, or no, when you give the pain body grace because you understand that it's the shadow body that's controlling it, opposed to allowing the pain to flow through you when you understand that it's the light body flowing through you. Yeah, to relieve it. And then there's the Queen of Wands. Yeah, one not being attractive, the aggressiveness that comes with the trick, the what's clearing out is the aggressiveness as a trick for marriage. And then there being this whole aspect of, I just heard obedience, I guess, outside of the structure. The obsession, yep, that comes into place with hatred, February, 2 months ago, not being love. What is love versus what isn't love? Carnal pleasures is kind of what I'm getting from that. Within one, not having a strategy. Not having a strategy, and one not manifesting a upheaval with the star. A upheaval, and I'm hearing the cosmos. And the misfortune that comes with one coming in fast. Fast movement. How fast a person can move. Some of this other stuff is going to be about what it is that happens in the policing and policies. With marriage. And whether somebody else said it or whether they said it. And the karmic, or not the karmic only, but the little kid, that the shadow aspect of the little kid that plays too much, the angry princess, and I want to say the jackal. That's what I want to say. Don't quote me on that last one though, because I always get the last one wrong for Sagittarius. Yeah, the darker side of Sagittarius. I don't think it's the Juggernaut. I thought that was the Aquarius or Capricorn. No, the blacksmith is Capricorn. Yeah, and how even in those situations is depicted, right, with him being a blacksmith, but it's about what the build up is. Okay. All right. So these cards wanted to come out. the karma cards. So we finna see exactly what it is we got going on there. What we do have, that you different signs that you can pay attention to. Definitely Libra, Taurus, with his the planet Venus, and if you have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius in Venus, Mercury, as an Earth sign, and then Uranus, yeah, and Uranus. All right, all right. So let's see. You got Venus, the planet that is going to be coming through is pay attention to what's in your Venus signs, ladies and gentlemen. You got Venus, you got Aries, in the fifth house. So pay attention to what's going on in your fifth house. If you have Aries in any place, uh like in either one of the planets I just called out, which is Uranus, Mercury, I don't see no Jupiter, but definitely in those, because that's going to allow you to get a better understanding of what your relationship is on its own with what Aries essence is in its most authentic form. In its most authentic form, it protects and provides for its staff and for for everybody surrounding them. What it is to be an emperor, and the mindset of an emperor isn't focused just on one particular person. It's focused on the good for everybody, right? So Venus in Aries in the fifth house, the attraction of energies to meet the challenge of the power of love, because it can be extremely healing. The mental aspect of pleasure from your desires regarding investment, gambles, and other games. In short, is that how willing are you to bet on love? Is basically what that boils down to. And good times resulting from the honesty and strength of your creations. Good times resulting from the honesty and strength of your creations. Yeah, so a lot of this will be about what constitutes as a love spell. What's a love spell versus what's a person just being natural, being naturally loving, versus when you forcing them to be loving to someone who's obsessive. That's that portion. And what happens when a love spell will backfire. Yeah, here's the deal. To some capacity, you have to love everybody, but you can love their ass from a distance. Love ain't what's love got to do with it. I think people didn't really pay attention to it. It's not about love. It's so much more to it than love. You got respect, you got honesty, you got trust, and even in this whole gossip aspect, and what it is to be depressed or to be sad, and yeah, and the aggressiveness of how many different tricks it is that will be played, and all of that. And even in that, like if a person loves a good gamble, or they love a good, yeah, they love a good bet, love a good adventure, all those different things. All right. So I'm going to close and seal this. Well, pause. I'm going to close this reading out, do a summary, and then seal it. All right. But yeah, ultimately, what you want to pay attention to is how you are allowing for yourself to show up in whatever essence it is that you have in either Venus, or even in what your expectation is versus what it would actually be, is what that is pretty much given in your vision, as well as in the actual actions, right? Yeah, I didn't see no Neptune come out. So yeah, delusions and illusions, and even in that regard, standing on what's real for you. All right. All right, so I'm going to seal this reading. so that the energy stays in this reading, and whenever you come across it, it will be pertaining to you, okay? All right, hopefully this helps you guys out just a little bit, gave you a tad bit of an inclination as to a few different things it is that will be going on. If you like to schedule your own personal touch of clarity, you are more than welcome to do so at Lightwork Ain't Lightwork LLC at gmail.com. Okay? Because see, remember, light work, it ain't light work. It is not light work. It's not light work. And that's why you have to stay light while you work.